I don't see any guests tonight, so if we get some, we will come back to our guest presentation, but we'll go ahead and start the rest of our meeting. All right, so huge thank you to our ambassador of the week this past week, Laura Brownell. She did an awesome job. Kim Chartier, poor Kim. We were sitting at dinner last night, and I was like, Kristen had a little snafu, and she was like, I have somebody like I have people like lined up, but I don't have anybody this week. And I looked at Kim and I said, can you please do ambassador? So Kim's like, I have post scheduled for another group, so I can do it. So thank you. Huge thank you to Kim, who took that on this week. I'm sure she will do an amazing job with it. So next up, national tours. So I have been traveling. I was in New Jersey 2 weeks ago. Oh my goodness, it doesn't seem like it. It seems like a month ago, 3 months ago. I don't know. I was in New Jersey a few weeks ago, Detroit last weekend, and then we had our national tour in Worcester yesterday. So I see several people who attended one of the national tours on. And so I'm going to ask everybody just to share, anybody who attended, I'm going to ask you all to just share your biggest takeaway. And poor Rose tried, but all kinds of, everything's kept her away. Okay, I'll just start asking since nobody's jumping up to do it first. Kim, I have you on the top left, so I'm going to ask you first what your biggest takeaway was.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. I loved the deep thinking that we had to do, actually, where they gave us questions and talking about our inner critic and really making us think, and then having us go through our story. So it was definitely personally a worthwhile time, and then diving deep into the company. And I thought it was wonderful that Miranda was answering questions and making sure that everybody felt comfortable with the answers and had clear answers.
Yep. Michelle, what about you? What was your biggest takeaway from national tour?
She's frozen. Give her a second.
Oh, okay. Roberta, what was your biggest takeaway from national tour?
I don't know. There was so many. But I am going to pick my story. I finally realized how to break it down into the 4 different sections. And I was able to rewrite my story again today. And I actually did my first day of the challenge and told my story while I was out today.
Love it. Love it. How did that go? How did it feel?
It felt awesome. It really did feel awesome. Good. So I'm very excited.
Good. Tony said she's in bed, so she'll share hers in the chat. Her biggest takeaways were not to deny her previous versions of herself, but to honor each stage and where she's been, because we know as we know better, we do better, and she is who she is today because of the lessons she's learned. Second, was identifying and evicting her inner critic. Svet, can you talk? Okay, Megan.
She.
Oh, I thought I was on mute. Okay. Well, first of all, I've never eaten so many fajitas in my life in one day. That's one takeaway. And I couldn't wait to come home and
put my mezcal was better. Mezcal fajitas were better, right?
But really, I'm looking through my notebook, and I probably answered a little bit differently last night when we had a similar question, but my notes are the best takeaway, because I will review these daily now and use them going forward when I am talking to people, trying to reach out to new people, and just using these as a refreshed version of what I was using previously. So I think that's always
Awesome.
the biggest takeaway, just having refreshed, newer version of what I should be doing.
Yeah. Judy, biggest takeaway.
Everything that everyone said, the inner critic was very interesting, but for me, it was more like corporate and consultants really blended. I just like that we're getting
Yeah.
back to our roots and that there's no hierarchy. There's just people, helping
Yeah.
helping families. It's just, that's really what I really took away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jen said her biggest takeaway was the inner critic work. Megan
Mhm.
Paradise, biggest takeaway. She's trying to come off mute. Let me see if oh, there we go.
I got it. So
Okay.
many people here, my phone screen is all moved around. So, um, well, I said yesterday that the inner critic was a really big one. But I do think even just the basics of how important parties are, because we've gotten away from, and I look back at, I don't know, the 4 years before COVID, and that they really were a valuable thing, that not just, even if it didn't completely grow my my reach, it definitely brought, like, every time you were there, you knew you were talking about the mission. And
Yeah.
so it put it in the forefront, so that is what you're doing with everybody when you talk about Pure Haven.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for me, it's definitely the party focus.
Love it.
Yep.
Christine, what about you? What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I mean, I gotta agree with all of them with, the inner critic work and the story building to really look at parts of my story and more fine tune them. But the thing that I really liked was how everything was so much more mission focused this time around. I mean, I had an event today, and I really went that route today with a lot of things. Got questions. It wasn't a very busy event, but
Mhm.
the people I did talk to, they were interested. They wanted to, hear more and stuff. So
Love it.
it was nice. Yeah.
Great. Michelle and Spat. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I think what everybody said, I like the inner critic work. And I mean, I love parties. I thrive with getting together with people. So I like that. And I think what I came out of it is, like, I think corporate and the consultants are like so much closer together, and like one mission, one goal, one everything. And that's what I like. Just feel like it was so much more in communion with each other. So it was great. I really enjoyed it.
And
Spat?
I will echo everyone else. The inner critic was crucial for me personally, because I realized that the inner critic is a phantom. It's not real. And we just give so much time and pressure to this thing, this entity, that, it takes a lot of energy from us unnecessarily.
Yep.
And for me, you all live here close together. I love being able to hug everybody last night. It was fantastic.
Yeah. All right, so good stuff coming out. For anybody who didn't make it to one of the events, it was announced. Usually the announcement of where a conference is going to be comes out at leadership, but usually leadership is in April. So it's a little early for them to announce where conference is going to be, but what they shared with us is they are changing the style of conference. It will not be a big production, woo-woo, like lights and show and costume changes and, Billy and song and dance. Some people love Billy, some people don't love Billy. Love Billy, but it's okay. He's not really us. That's not who we are. And so as much as we love Billy, we make more sense doing something that's very retreat style. Is where we can really be with each other and spend time together and do some deep personal work and talk about the mission. And so corporate has decided that it will be a retreat style event. I've heard a few places, yes, earthy, crunchy, intimate feel. Yep, absolutely. A few of the places I've heard are Colorado and North Carolina thrown about. So we will see. We will see where they settle on. It may be neither of those, but it will be more of a retreat style event. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be amazing. Yep, we definitely need inner work in order to refine our story, continue our mission, and grow closer together as a community. Absolutely. Okay, so that was a national tour. Lots of fun. It was very fun for me to be able to travel to all those places. So glad I got to see several of you. Incentives, share by 16, start 5, and do both. Are the corporate incentives. I am certainly going for both. I already got the share by 16. I need you to start 5. We have Svetlana Korchevsky down in New Jersey has already done both on our team. So that's really exciting. We also have bingo. So if you complete the entire card, you get $100 Visa gift card. If you get one row, you get a prize, a product prize. You don't get multiple product prizes. So it's either one row or the whole card. It's not like do 3 rows or anything. It's one row or the whole card. Hi, kitty. The cat is ready to climb on top of me. Please don't forget to fill out our 5,000 new families form. This is really important. This is what our mission is as our team, is to support 5,000 new families and starting with Pure Haven this year. We also are doing an additional donation to Hearts of Hope for Mary Julich. So for anybody who has not had the honor of meeting Mary Julich, she is one of our honors and started Hearts of Hope. So we are doing an additional donation to her. Oops, I went too fast. My cat is moving things. Sorry, you guys. The cat is like pushing the screen. There we go. So don't forget to get in those 5,000 new family forms. That's in Circle. So please make sure to fill that out. Why Circle? I actually got this we had a conversation last night at dinner about why Circle. Why is Circle important? Why are we doing Circle? There are a lot of people who are not on Facebook anymore. There are a lot of people who they do not want to be on Facebook. And there are also people who are consultants of ours who get thrown into Facebook jail and suddenly you don't have access to your Facebook account. And it's really frustrating. So you know, this is why we are on Circle, because we don't want to be dealing with this. You know, oh, Facebook restricted me. Facebook, I'm in Facebook jail. I saw a network marketing friend who was like, hey, sorry, I haven't seen you guys in a while. I've been in Facebook jail for the last few weeks. Like, it happens regularly. So I own our space on Circle. I pay every single month for us to have that space. And so that is why we have transitioned to Circle, because we are at the whim of social media on Facebook, and we don't want to be at the whim of social media. We want to build our own space that belongs to us. In terms, I got asked what Circle is precisely. So we started looking, Jen Pacelli and I started looking at different sites that we could utilize that were about community building as opposed to courses. There's a lot of sites out there that do courses like Kajabi and that type of thing, so that have some community building, but Circle really puts the community building first. They do have the course area, but community building is important for them. And that's the primary reason that it exists. Lots of companies actually use Circle as their community pages for their websites. So we are only using it for community, but lots of big corporations will use it as sort of their place that people can, you know, have community on their website. So I just wanted to point out some things that you may or may not have heard about. Some of these were brought up at National Tour. Some of them are just, you know, have been brought up in emails or whatever. There is a new About You page on our websites. This has replaced the ingredients to avoid section. So this is a really great place to send people when they're asking why Pure Haven is so important. And hopefully those of you who came to the National Tour are understanding we're really, really leaning more into mission. Please make sure you're following Miranda on Instagram too, under Non-Tox CEO, because she's definitely pushing that a lot more. And we have been differentiating what makes us so different. This is really important. When I was at the National Tour out in Detroit, I mentioned I was at inadvertently, I didn't really plan on being at, but I ended up being at a Mary Kay presentation, and they were giving our presentation. And I was like, I'm in New England. I'll say effing instead of the other word, but they were giving our effing presentation, Mary Kay. I was like, what even is going on right now? Like, how is this a thing that Mary Kay is giving our presentation? 1,300 ingredients are banned in Europe. Only 11 are banned in America. I was like, what? Excuse me. Wait, what? Like, why are they giving our presentation? These are greenwashers. They are getting really savvy at greenwashing. So we need to get better at talking about what really truly makes us different. And so that About You page is really important for that. And also just letting people know about what, you know, the Non-Tox CEO, and then talking about it on our social media. We need to get louder about it. We also have these Meet Pure Haven brochures. We were looking into catalogs, but I think if we use this and direct people to our virtual catalog, will be good. So I'm going to pull back from doing any kind of catalog printing, because I think those are a nice enough high quality way of getting people to push to our website to look at that shop now section, that we can use that. If people are still really struggling, we'll revisit, but for right now, I think it's working. Also, I don't know if you guys saw that you can buy the skincare bag in your back office in a wholesale order. So if you are looking to get that skincare bag, this could be really useful for a couple of things. First of all, if you want it for yourself. Second of all, if you want to have that, if you want to present at a party what new consultants get, and then also the skincare in two different places, it's kind of nice to have those two bags available to sort of put out there, okay, here's what a new consultant gets, here's what you got with the skincare. So if you want that much presentation, it's kind of nice to have. Yeah, it really is a nice bag. For those of you who don't know, we are coaching now, private coaching groups. I'm going to go over actually, oops, stop share. I just want to pull up who I had, Jess, Alva's on tonight. Hold on 1 minute. Let me just tell you who I am coaching with tomorrow. Tomorrow we have Roberta, Geraldine, Rose, and Gina first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. At 9, we have Dorothy and Spet, 9 Eastern. At 7 p.m., we have Jana Rodenbaugh and Megan Paradise. And let me just make sure. Oh, we also have Julia Rydberg and Amanda Organist tomorrow night at 7. I need to make sure that all the names are carrying over. For some reason they weren't all. So that is the coaching for tomorrow. If you would like to be put in a coaching group, please let me know. I'd love to get as many people as possible in coaching. I think those are really valuable tools for everybody to hear each other. Talk about, what's working, what's not working, what they need help with. And now we are on to our book club of the week.
We have a question. We have a
Michelle,
question.
yes.
Have you
I did
made
not,
that form for us to fill out before coaching?
I
Okay,
did not finish the form yet.
no worries.
So thank you for asking. Yes, I have not finished it, but I will get that tomorrow. Get that done tomorrow. Yes, I'm sorry. Didn't
So
get
can
done.
you go over what we're supposed to have: a win, a need, our
a
goal
goal.
for the week, and a rock or whatever?
Yep,
Something.
something you're struggling with. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
So, all right. So, any other questions on that? Great question.
I have a question on the videos. Are those in the PHE team tool?
They're not there yet. I will ask where they are and when they're going to be up, because they're not up yet.
They
they're
said
not
by
with Jensen.
Wednesday. I
Okay,
asked
okay, they
Mary and
did?
they said by
Okay.
Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
awesome.
And will they be in PHE team too, though? That's where
Yes.
they'll be? Okay, all right, thank you.
What videos? Sorry.
That's okay. There were videos that were released at National Tour, and one was about why we are so, one was why we are so important, like why greenwashing is a problem, and it goes more in depth into that. And one is like more mission based, but they're definitely featuring Miranda more prominently, and it's her voice. So the why, that they're both about 1:40, which is really nice. Yeah, and they're both they're the one that's like about the world we live in right now. It reminds me, I keep going back to, I used to do, I don't know if any of you remember this, but there was this amazing video that we used to share that was not from our company at all, called The Story of Cosmetics. Does anybody remember that? Rose does. Anyone else?
Vaguely. I think vaguely I do.
I feel like it's kind of long though. Is that right? Is it the one with the cartoony stuff in it?
It's a cartoon, yes.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
really
don't.
good, but it's kind of long.
It is kind of long. Hold on.
Yeah, that was like my go-to. I love that video.
Yeah, yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, it's 8 minutes long. So, but it reminds me of that. I'm going to take the 8 minutes. We're going to do this because it's good.
This is a story about a world obsessed with stuff. It's a story about a system in crisis. We're trashing the planet, we're trashing each other, and we're not even having fun. The good thing is that when we start to understand the system, we start to see lots of places to step in and turn these problems into solutions. Can I tell you, I love my Pantene Pro V. Of the dozen or so personal care products that I use every day, it's the one I can't live without. Says it gives my dull hair the ultimate cool shine. How does it do that? I was wondering that while I was lathering it in my hair one day, so I read the ingredients right here. Sodium lauryl sulfate, tetrasodium EDTA, methyl isothiazolinone. What is this stuff? I took this list to some scientists who know how to read it. Turns out my Pantene contains a chemical linked to cancer. And lots of other products in my bathroom, from sunscreen to lipstick and even baby shampoo, also contain chemicals linked to cancer or other problems like learning disabilities, asthma, and even damaged sperm. Like most parents, I try to keep my family safe. But now I find out my bathroom is a minefield of toxins? What are we supposed to do? To find out the answers, we have to go back to one of the key features of our materials economy: toxics in, toxics out. If at the factory you pour toxic chemicals into a product, like baby shampoo, you're gonna wind up with toxic baby shampoo and toxics in workers, communities, and babies. So let's take a closer look at this toxic outrage where it seeps into our lives every day, in the bathroom. The average woman in the US uses about 12 personal care products daily. The average man about 6. Each product containing a dozen or more chemicals. Less than 20% of chemicals in cosmetics have been assessed for safety by the industry's safety panel, so we just don't know what they do to us when we use them. Would you fly on an airline that only inspects 20% of its planes? Of course, not all of these chemicals are dangerous, but we know that many are. Some are carcinogens. That means that they can cause cancer. Others are neurotoxins and reproductive toxins, proven to mess up brain development and reproduction in animals. Wait a minute, we're animals too. It's like a giant experiment. We're using all these mystery chemicals and just waiting to see what happens. One thing we do know is that they're getting inside us. I had my body's toxicity levels tested, and I'm loaded with things like mercury, flame retardants, triclosan, and lead. We all are. Even babies are being born pre-polluted. Now, I know we can't live in a lead-free world, but do we have to put lead in our lipstick? I don't know. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I just bought the wrong thing. At the store, the choices seem endless. I can get lipstick in 49 shades, or shampoo for hair that's too dry, oily, fine, limp, or frizzy. But what about the choices that really matter? Like the choice to buy products that are safe? It turns out the important decisions don't happen when I choose to take a product off the shelf. They happen when companies and governments decide what products should go on the shelves. So who are these companies? This is Procter & Gamble. They're the ones offering me Herbal Essences, the #2 shampoo in the country. It contains toxic petrochemicals made from oil. Since when is oil an herb? On cosmetics labels, words like herbal, natural, even organic have no legal definition. That means that anybody can put anything in a bottle and call it natural, and they do. I mean, can you imagine a top seller called Petro Essences? Gross. What's even nastier are hair relaxers marketed to 5-year-olds and skin whitening creams. These are super toxic, both in their ingredients and in the message they send about what beauty is. Oh, here's Estee Lauder offering me a chance to help find a cure for breast cancer. That's nice. But wait, they're also using chemicals linked to cancer. Don't you think the best way for Estee Lauder to fight cancer is to stop using those chemicals in the first place? So really, I get to choose between meaningless claims on a bottle. But these guys get the real choice about what goes into those bottles. And that happens back here, at the factories where they're formulated. Why do the makers of these products use all these toxics? Are they trying to poison us? No, they're just working from a 1950s mindset when people were totally swept up in better living through chemistry. In all that excitement, they forgot to worry about human health impacts. That was years ago, and they are still using these same old toxic chemicals. Today, big cosmetics companies say the doses of poison in their products are small enough to be harmless. Yeah, maybe if you use them once a year. I guess they never get out and see that their products are being used and combined with other products every day. A little toxic dose under your arms, a little more on your hair, on your lips. And workers in nail and hair salons get dosed all day long. So the industry is used to doing things this way, and they can. Because even now that scientists have linked the chemicals they're using to all sorts of problems, there are no laws to get rid of them. You're thinking, really? Come on, nobody's making sure that the stuff we smear all over our bodies is safe? Nope. The FDA doesn't even assess the safety of personal care products or their ingredients. Since 1938, they've banned just 8 out of over 12,000 ingredients used in cosmetics. They don't even require that all of the ingredients be listed on the label. Now, this is an example where we can all agree a little more government action would be helpful. This lack of regulation leaves a huge hole that the cosmetics industry is all too happy to fill. They set up their own committee to self-police their products, and compliance with their recommendations is voluntary. So the cosmetics industry is making the rules and then deciding whether or not to follow them. So you see, it isn't our fault that these toxic products are in our bathrooms. It's a whole broken system that's ignoring the simple rule: toxics in, toxics out. But we're not helpless. There are resources online that we can use to protect ourselves by identifying the best possible choices in the store. But the real action is with people working to change the system. Because if we really want to solve this problem, we got to start here with these guys. Women, parents, workers, people all over the country are demanding that Congress pass a new law, giving FDA the power to make sure that our personal care products are safe. We need common sense laws based on the precautionary principle. That means that when you're dealing with hazardous chemicals, just err on the side of caution. Let's not debate how much lead should be allowed in lipstick. Just get the toxic chemicals out of our products. Smarter laws would force companies to get past that old 50s mindset and figure out how to get us all clean and shiny without toxic chemicals. Can they? Totally. Many responsible cosmetics companies are already putting safer products on the market. Green chemists are developing substances that are designed to be safe and non-toxic in the first place. European governments have required the removal of many toxic chemicals, and companies have figured out how to comply. When cosmetics are reformulated to be safe and labeled honestly, then we can feel comfortable with the choices available at the store. We can choose bouncy hair or full hair, shiny lipstick or matte. We can even choose to feel beautiful without using 20 products. But we'll know that whatever we choose, the most important choice, the choice to be safe and healthy, has already been made.
So that video was from 2010. Nothing's changed. Literally nothing's changed. So, yeah,
That's sad.
Mhm. But that's why we need to be out there and why we need to be loud, right? We need to get louder and we need to be out there talking about this. So yeah, we have a new video that's 1.5 minutes that's more similar to that. Okay, so who read our next chapter in our book this week? Awesome. Okay, so this week it is Your Toughest Choice. So I'm going to share my screen. Could someone who read the chapter talk about how to implement your toughest choice? Oop, I meant to stop sharing. Stop sharing. There we go.
The toughest choice you'll have to make is getting the whole 7-piece skincare with our 100% recycled bag or just $150 4-piece skincare set. Your things on.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? Okay.
Yep, that
Okay.
was great.
Our base
So,
product is the skincare, right?
well,
That's
no. So one of the things that we came out with at the that we're going to have out as well soon is that quiz, that
Oh,
the
yeah.
non-tox me quiz.
Oh, that's right.
So really
That's
you
great.
want to know you don't want to sell people something they don't want. Like maybe somebody's really happy with their toxic skincare. But you want to focus on where people want to get started. So, it's
Okay, so it's
taking the
based on each
survey
person.
based on
Mhm.
each person, exactly. Have a much less
Okay.
like prescriptive, we're going to sell them this, whether they want it or not, and focus on where they really want to start and just get them having a product experience. Don't worry about getting them into Preferred Club from the get-go, which is what we've been pushing. It's really just get them started with something, right? Get them started with something wherever they want to start. My most recent customer wanted to try our laundry detergent, and she actually said to me, I just want to swap as I start getting close to using up what I have. And that's what you really want to do with all of your customers, right? You want to start getting them to swap out as they run out of stuff. Okay, another way to use your toughest choice, your toughest decision. Who wants to give us another one? Michelle, that was a perfect example. So what about your toughest choice is whether to host on a weeknight after work when people really need some like downtime with the girls after a long, hard day at work, or to do a weekend brunch event, right? Your toughest choice is whether to join with just the $35 or whether you want to do the $99 add-on. All right, so I'm going to put us in breakout rooms and I want everybody to come up with your toughest choice example. It can either be about the business opportunity, hosting, or product. So I'm going to put you guys in breakout rooms and you can each come up with a toughest choice. All right, here we go.
Difficult to decide if to take action than to decide which type of action to take. So that's after you know their pain point and their base product, then you give them your toughest choice is, do you want to continue going to the store and getting 7th generation, or do you want to try something more effective, safer, from me or something like that.
So are we picking a product? The product, or are we picking the business opportunity? Like the toughest choice.
What was the assignment? I didn't.
It's any one of them. So you can do hosting a product or the business opportunity. So she gave examples of all three.
Yeah. Okay, hosting, have to share a fun experience with friends if there's something you're thinking about. All right, so your toughest choice with hosting is your wish list. I mean, do you want to have everything in your wish list? Or do you want to make your wish list, break it down? And, I guess the toughest part, as far as hosting, we could do something like that. The toughest place.
She had redness and acne, and I'm begging her if I can share her before and after. It's amazing. And she hasn't given me the okay yet. But so with that, she had amazing results. But with the, her fine lines and this and that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all right, but whatever. That's what
So
she said.
Roberta, put that in a thing. So your toughest choice would be, what would you say?
Your toughest choice would be she loved that they were non-toxic, but they didn't do the job of the toxic.
So your toughest choice would be to go non-toxic and have your face look beautiful for the rest of your life, or to put toxins on your life, and maybe in a few years you would
Taking a
start
risk.
aging and the
Taking a
wrinkles.
risk of getting sick.
Taking a risk of getting cancer or whatever the toxins do.
I left prematurely. I'm sorry.
Whoops. Me too.
That's okay. The rest of the rooms are closing in 30
Oh.
seconds. 29, 28, 27.
We had some good conversations going though.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. I love
Judy, you
that.
were like mid-talk and then we're like, oh,
I
she
know.
popped out. Okay.
I went, my fingers never know where they're going. So it's like, it just, it was like, sometimes I talk with my hands and then I do something.
All right. So we'll give everybody a second to get back.
Sorry, my water's gone.
So room 1. What did you come up with?
Please don't chew on that.
Toughest choice.
Were we room 1, ladies? I don't want.
Yeah.
I think we were. Okay. All right. So you're at a party and you did your flip chart, and so you're like, so ladies, your toughest part now about your decision is making your wish list for your hosted gathering, because you already made your invite list. So your toughest choice is figuring out what you want to get from our from your gathering. So that was one, and then I'm just going to share the other one because they're really short. So you're in a gathering and you're talking about the mission, and you see that these people are really taken to this. So your toughest choice is, do you want to go with the skincare, or do you want to create your own bundle to get your free shipping?
Wonderful. All right. Great job, ladies. Room number 2. What did you come up with for us?
Okay, it just so happened I had a customer that did this today. Your toughest choice is to, should I buy the hyaluronic acid or the cream, the retinol cream? I felt that the hyaluronic acid did not do the job that the retinol cream did, and it did not make my face tighter. And so now I'm going to go back with her and give her all the reasons why she should go with the hyaluronic acid over the retinol. So, yes.
So it's like the toughest choice would be for you is to use the retinol now and get the immediate effects of the tightness of your skin, or use the non-toxic product and still get it will work over time and you won't have the toxins, and the retinol may cause aging to work against you in 3 to 5 years because of the chemicals that are in it.
Mm-hmm. You want to make both of the choices positive.
Okay.
So I would say work on that a little bit more. So you want to make both of the choices like a good choice. You don't want to make one of them like, oh, like you don't really want the psychology here. Hold on for one sec. Brian, my computer's dying. Can you grab my cord from in there? Thanks. So it should be like do you want to host on this day because this is the great benefit of doing that? Or do you want to host on this day because this is the great benefit of doing this? So you're giving them a choice, but you're not really giving them a choice, right?
Okay.
You're giving them 2 good choices that are both with us, not like, hey, go use this other thing because it's a bad choice, or you can use our choice because it's a good choice. Like, you really want to give them 2 choices that are both with us that are good choices.
So is it kind of like, hey, your toughest choice would be whether you want to host at home or at a coffee shop?
Because that was the other thing I was going to say that, because Svek came up with that too.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
absolutely.
oh, that's like really easy.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason you do this is because psychologically, if somebody is like on the fence about something, you're giving them a way to choose between, you're narrowing down their choices to two good choices for them so that their mind can pick one of those. And this is why we always offer dates when we ask for a party, right? When I was doing the booking blitzes, I was like, give them two dates to choose from, right? Don't just say, hey, do you want to book a party with me? Because the choice will be no, right? If you say, hey, I've been challenged to book 5 parties this month. I'm looking to book a evening party on, you know, such and such a date. It'll be great to do it like after work. Everybody can like get their nighttime routine done at your house. It'll be really fun. Or we could do a brunch. Which would you prefer on a Saturday? Which would you prefer? So you're giving them those two choices. And instead of going yes or no, they're going, oh, evening with nighttime routine or morning with daytime routine and brunch. Like, which one works better for my friends? Right? So you're giving them two good choices that are both with us.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
Can I ask, when it comes to the whole retinol, like a different product, can you say, well, you have two choices, you know, you can go with that, or you can try the hyaluronic acid for 60 days. And, you know, could you bring that into the conversation?
But when you're doing that, like the toughest choice you have is they should both be good choices, right?
Okay.
They should both be like,
I see.
yeah. So the example she used in the book was like Girl Scout cookies.
Right.
Like, your toughest choice is to choose between Samoas and Thin Mints, right? Like, that's your toughest choice. They're both good, right? Like they're both with the same thing, but yeah. So you really want to keep them like sort of apples and apples, and with us. Like, don't say, oh, you could go use that really toxic product with somebody else, because what if then they choose that? You want to. So another example would be, oh, I'm so excited that you're interested in trying one of our serums. Your toughest choice is, do you want to choose the beauty booster, or do you want to choose the soothing serum, right? Like that's kind of the choice you want to give when you're using this. Yeah, soothing or brightening, right?
That's
like,
literally what I, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Is that helpful for everyone?
Very.
Good. All right. So, leaders in action, please stay on, and I will see many of you for coaching tomorrow. And I will figure out the form. I just did not get to it this week.
Well,
No worries.
we know what to come with. Anyways,
Yes. Wins, rocks, needs, and goals.
All right. Good night, ladies.
Good night.
Good night.